Hey Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, we're going to be talking about Jeffree Star, because Jeffree Star went on an interview on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul. I know we don't really talk about the Paul brothers a lot on this channel. I can't talk today. This is not off to a good start. But I want to talk about it because this interview he did with Impulsive, Logan Paul, and all that, it got kind of messy. Grab a Diet Coke. This is going to be a good one. Before we get started, if you are new here, my name is Shelby. I am the crazy cat lady of the drama community. I spill the tea on all your favorite celebrities, or maybe some that you love to hate, all the influencers, celebrity gossip, and news 7 days a week with Mr. and Miss Kitty. Isn't that right, miss? So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and don't forget that all Shelby Bells ring the bell. Okay, let's get into the drama. So, Jeffree Star went on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul, and it got kind of messy, you guys. While we talk about this, I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to be doing just like a little basic girl makeup. I got a little bit, okay, do you guys ever do this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I know it's bad. I know you're not supposed to do it, but I'm just human, okay? So, I started picking at my face, and I know there's a lot of redness and stuff right now because I literally just got done picking at it, and I was like, record a video. So we're gonna put a little bit of makeup on. I am going to the gym in a little bit, so I'm in my gym clothes. I'm not gonna do anything crazy, but I want to cover up some of this redness since I am filming, and I don't even know what I was thinking when I started picking at my face like that. I know I shouldn't be doing it, but I did. So now I'm just gonna put a little basic girl natural makeup look on. Nothing crazy because I am going to the gym, but just to because we're filming, right? So when I saw that Jeffree Star went on the Logan Paul podcast, I was a little bit kind of confused about it because I don't know, I just feel like it was kind of an odd choice. And also Jeffree Star he doesn't do a lot of interviews, so it made me think what's going on with Jeffree? Does he have something coming out? Something must be going on here to make him collab and do an interview like this, because he doesn't do them just freely like that. He really is pretty picky about who he does his interviews with. And I have to say, you guys, I watched almost the entire thing. I didn't watch the entire thing from beginning to end because honestly some of it was just kind of okay girl, it was over an hour long, but they did have timestamps in the description box of the video, and so I watched the parts that were kind of interesting to me. And basically they talked a lot about sexuality and what Jeffree Star identifies as and all of that, but they also talked about the Yak Ranch, and that was kind of interesting, so I listened to that part. And it really was just kind of Jeffree. This was filmed back I think April 21st is when it was filmed, because they mentioned in the podcast how yesterday was 4/20, so I guess this was filmed back in April. That's a long time for something to get edited and posted, right? If it's filmed in April and it's not getting posted till now, the middle of June, that's kind of intense. I wonder why they didn't air it until now. I'm gonna be using, I just covered up my blemishes with a little Born This Way concealer, and I'm gonna be using the Pretty Fresh by ColourPop Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer on my face. Oh my god, you guys. Do you see that? There was a chunky in this. You see it hanging out there, and it just exploded all over my hand and all over my... Thank god this is just a gym shirt. Jeez. Oh my god. Wow. ColourPop. That is not cute. It's this little chunk of pigment. Wow, absolutely not. It's solid. Oh my god, trash. This isn't the reason why I don't love this product, but I honestly don't love this product. It's on my arm and stuff. I don't love this product. It's not bad, but it's not great. I'm out of my Evu Beauty tinted moisturizer, and that's honestly the one that I prefer, but I'm out of it. And I have all these other stuff, and I'm just okay, I want to use this up before I buy more of the stuff that I really like. I just feel I need to be more cognizant of using up all the stuff that I have. So I'm actually going to use my fingers to kind of blend some of this in a little bit too. I used my brush a little bit, but I'm also going to use my fingers. With the tinted moisturizer like this, you can get away with using your fingers to blend a little bit, and it still looks okay. So yeah, anyway, on the podcast, they talked about the Yak Ranch. They talked about a lot of different things. They talked about Jeffree Star's sexuality. They talked about the beauty community and all that. And I guess what I wanted to get into in this video was part of the podcast that really stuck out to me was when they started talking about the beauty community, because they started to talk about, how how Jeffree got into the beauty community, how he, started doing beauty videos, how he started his makeup line and all of that. But then, like, they ended up bringing up the topic of Jeffree Star, James Charles, Shane Dawson, and Tati, and Dramageddon, right? Or Carmageddon, that whole thing we remember that happened in 2019 with Jeffree Star, James Charles, Tati, and Shane Dawson. It was like all over mainstream media. It was all over everything. James Charles was like super duper canceled because of that, if you guys remember. And they mentioned that. So while I blend this, I'm going to go ahead and roll you the clip from that part of the podcast. So roll it.
Hi!
Jeffree Star's here. Jeffree Star, come on in, Jeffree.
The Craigslist orders here for Mike.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
Like
What's
Mike
up?
could ever afford that.
How are you?
It'd be pricey.
Do you wear headphones when you do a
I
podcast?
think I'm too pretty for headphones.
I agree.
Dude!
Can we skip them?
I agree. Yeah, fine.
I can hear you guys fine.
Cool. So,
Let me sit closer.
yeah, perfect.
Depends.
You have nice teeth, but you may be a biter.
Thank you. I actually am a fighter.
I didn't realize how tall you are, Jeffree.
I'm like 6'2".
Wyoming, it seems a bit random.
I think COVID opened up a lot of things that like realizations. Like, I don't crave having the biggest house on the block. Like, I didn't have an ego anymore. I grew up mentally, spiritually, and I'm just on a whole different wavelength.
What's the other reason? Is there a business advantage of being in Wyoming?
No, my businesses are still here.
Got
So
it.
the rumors of he moved everything over for taxes and money. Yeah, personally, it's nice to not have a state income tax anymore, right?
yeah,
Wyoming is really great, nice incentives. I have businesses there as well. I have a shipping fulfillment center, but everything's mainly here. The makeup companies, everything's LA. I pay California taxes for it. And I create a lot. I love getting stoned, creating concepts for. I'm on year 8 of my company, and I have so many more ideas.
Which one, Jeffree Star Cosmetics?
Star Cosmetics, yeah. So we started with 3 lipsticks, just a little dream in my little 2-bedroom apartment, and it just went, it was just,
Why did it go, brah?
people
Brah. Why'd I go brah?
people trusted my opinion, my formula. They knew I was going to give them something good, I think, from doing makeup for so long. People respected me, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Because I did music prior, right? Remember, I was signed to Akon and Convict Music, and I've lived so many lives. So to quit and give up everything and start this little company was scary. It was really scary.
Launching any company is horrifying.
Yes, is anyone gonna like it? And then it took off. And it was just at a time where the product I launched first, it was a liquid lipstick. It had never really been on the market. There's only a few brands. A product that it goes on, you can literally suck a dick and it doesn't come off and you still look flawless. And I made the best formula and it's my top seller to date. Yeah,
So cool.
it's cool.
Was your YouTube channel a vehicle for the success of that company?
Yes. So then once I launched the brand, I saw beauty started to grow on YouTube. And I was like, oh, well, I've never done this. And no one at the time had ever seen me without makeup. It was very like mysterious. And I always kind of kept this weird like enigma about me. So when I revealed my full normal face, which I used to be insecure about, now I could give a fuck. It was like shocking at the time. And then I was giving away my beauty secrets and how to actually look good. And I was just doing it different than the people on the platform. So when I'm really into something like raising yaks, right? I just go full in. So I said I need to do YouTube, and I studied all the beauty people at the time, and I was like, okay, I get it, but no one's doing what I'm doing. So before YouTube got really strict, I was the first person to smoke weed during a makeup tutorial, and it was just very like, what the fuck? And I was just very outspoken and was just myself.
Yeah.
And then it just grew and grew. And then I started doing all the lifestyle, my relationships, surgeries, everything, including makeup tutorials and reviews. I did it all.
You're so ahead of the game.
It was crazy.
When I started coming up and thinking I had like discovered a new format or something new, or it was a new idea, it's funny because you were like final leveling. Like seriously, when I was starting, you don't really make that much content anymore, do you? Or am I tripping?
I upload, I think, maybe 3 or 4 times a month now. It used to be like, there's just so much going on too in life. This is before COVID.
Yeah. But then now, because you're launching other businesses, is that why you continue to make YouTube? Do you still love it?
I enjoy making content, but I think beauty overall on YouTube is kind of dead.
A little bit. Why? Why is that?
All the drama, all the craziness, all the personalities, and it was just...
It just got no fun, huh?
It got so unfun.
So toxic.
So fucking toxic, so dark and ugly. All those people were awful. And they wanted to villainize me because me and Shane were the most successful. We had the biggest launch in makeup history. And this is just being so straight, like man to man, not tooting my own horn, but it was so cool. And people got mad at how successful we got. and they stirred up so
People
many.
throw rocks up. They don't throw rocks down.
And they didn't like how big we won, so all the beauty people got angry and tried to take us down. You know, it's like a whole. It's dark.
Were you like seriously affected by that stuff? Like, do you
Yeah,
find
of
yourself a
course.
happier person now that you're?
God, yes. Yeah. Way happier. Guys, I just got wrapped up in what everyone else was doing as well, and it was just like a huge, crazy like reality show is what it felt like.
The James and Tati stuff.
Yeah, that was what ruined the beauty community. Absolutely. Yeah.
That was wild.
And then
That was the atom bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
when you joined in, I think that's when we knew it was getting serious.
Oh yeah, it was really crazy. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think about doing like boxing with the people?
I mean, I'm always down for that. I actually know how to street fight. I'm down for it all.
I feel like you could kick some ass. You're tall.
I've been jumped by 5 guys before. Like I know how to fight.
Would you ever get in the ring?
Yeah.
Who'd you fight?
It depends. Are you like boxing, fighting, what?
Yeah, boxing.
I think I should MMA, right? Like, let's just go for it.
So they talk about that whole situation, and Jeffree basically says that he thinks that Tati and James Charles coming for him and James and everything kind of destroyed the beauty community. And I don't know, you guys, while I do have a different opinion on that whole situation that happened back then than I do now. I think back then I was very much like, wow, like James Charles, at least after James Charles made his little like No More Lies video, I had a different opinion on the situation. I thought that James Charles was telling the truth. I was on James Charles's side. I was disappointed in Tati, and I really was upset and very anti-Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star for a while. But I think now, you know, hindsight is 2020, and I think that what I've realized is that, you know, I don't remember things happening the way that Jeffree Star said them in this podcast. And what I mean by that is I don't think that James Charles and Tati ruined the beauty community. I really don't. And I don't think that it had anything to do with Shane Dawson and all them at all. I think that the drama was a lot. I think the drama was really nasty. But if I remember correctly, that whole thing was about James Charles and the waiter, right? The straight guy waiter. It wasn't about necessarily the launch of the conspiracy palette. Now I know that launch of the conspiracy palette was like super big, the biggest in the beauty community yet. I mean, I waited in line for it. I have a whole video about my experience getting the conspiracy palette back in the day when I was like a makeup channel, a super small channel. I wasn't even monetized yet. Like, I have a video about that. I feel like that whole situation that happened with the whole thing with Shane and Jeffree and all that, it wasn't about the makeup and the Jeffree Star. It wasn't about that collection. It was about James Charles and about what James Charles did. And then James Charles made this video to like clear his name, and we all believed it, and then later on we found out that actually Tati was telling the truth. And so it's kind of curious to me that like that is the view that Jeffree actually has of this entire scandal. Who knows if we'll ever get like the real tea out of Jeffree, but I do think that it wasn't really necessarily about how awful Jeffree Star is in this situation. I think that this big Dramageddon thing that happened back in the day with Tati, James, Shane, and Jeffree really was about James Charles. So it's interesting that he's pushing it and making it seem like he was the victim in the whole situation. And no, I don't really think there was a victim in that situation, to be honest with you. I think they were all being nasty to each other. I think that the core of the issue was James Charles and everything. And so I think Tati's video, while it was done in poor taste, I think that she had a point. And I think that it was just very shocking for the world to hear that or whatever, and we didn't want to believe it. But you guys, it ended up being true. And Jeffree goes on to say that like how the beauty community is kind of like over, like it's done, like how that kind of canceled the beauty community. And to that, I have to say that I really honestly disagree. I don't think the beauty community is dead necessarily. I just think that all these high rollers in the beauty community, I think that we see through a lot of what goes on with them now, right? Because it's not just like, the thing is, I mean, we talked about it earlier this week with my video about Michaela and Jaclyn Hill, right? And just Michaela in general. Michaela's using all these like filters and stuff to like do these makeup product reviews. She's not disclosing sponsorships, all this stuff. And you know what? While she's definitely big in the beauty community, like the beauty community is not what it was, right? Like the beauty community used to be huge. It used to get millions of views and stuff. And there's just not really many creators in the beauty community that are pulling those kind of views anymore. And let's just be honest with it, okay? Even the ones that used to pull those kind of views, Tati, James, Nikki Tutorials, Jaclyn Hill, all those people, they're not pulling the same kind of views they were. And it's not because the beauty community is canceled and dead. It's because I think people just kind of see through the fakeness. But also, I think the beauty community suffered a lot because of COVID. It really, really did. When COVID hit, that put a big damper on how we purchase things, on what kind of makeup we were wearing, on if we were wearing makeup at all, because we had to wear this mask over our face, or we weren't leaving the house or whatever. And so a lot of people just weren't really buying makeup like they used to. And when they were buying makeup, they were looking for something different because they had this thing covering half their face the whole time. So I don't think that whole thing with Tati and James, I don't think that what they did or what they said ruined the beauty community. I think it was a cumulative thing of all of the different things that were happening, right? COVID happened shortly after that whole scandal broke up, maybe six months or so after that, and then the world just changed. So I think it's unfair to say that Tati and James ruined the beauty community. I really don't think that's that at all. I do think that what James Charles did and admitted to, and is probably still doing under people's NDAs, my conspiracy theory allegedly, I think that is definitely made the beauty community less fun. I think that what happened with that whole scandal made the beauty community a lot more dark, and I feel like it opened our eyes to some things that we didn't maybe want to see, and I feel like a lot of people are just grossed out by the idea of a lot of these big time beauty gurus now because of everything that has come to light about them. Even Jeffree said that he just doesn't really think of things the same way anymore. He doesn't feel the need to have all this excessive stuff that he did before COVID, and how COVID made him see things a little bit differently. And I think that's how the world kind of was affected as well. While back in the day, beauty lovers everywhere, we wanted to have all the latest launches, all the latest everything. And while there's still some people that are out there that are like that, I think that COVID happening in general just put a lot of things in perspective for a lot of people. And like I said, I don't think it was the drama that happened that killed the beauty community. I don't think the beauty community is dead. I think that the beauty community has suffered because of the circumstances that happened in the world. And maybe the big drama had something to do with that, because you guys, it did get just really dark and really messy. And it was everything was just exploding. It's you can't, whose side do you take? You don't want to take anybody's side because they're all kind of wrong in a way. And it was just very problematic and kind of messy. But I think if that would have happened without COVID happening shortly after, that the beauty community would have bounced right back to where it was, and we would have a whole new gang of beauty gurus that are super, super relevant. And I don't mean Michaela relevant because that's TikTok and it's not really YouTube. She really doesn't have very many YouTube subscribers at all, but she has millions and millions on TikTok. And you know what? TikTok is another thing that I think that kind of made the YouTube beauty world kind of dwindle down a little bit, because now you have this short form content that's quick, easy, to the point about these beauty products that are not 20-minute videos, 10-minute videos about the same beauty products. Now you can see it on TikTok in a much easier format with real people, real honest people that are just everyday people like me and you, not these big celebrities. And so I think it kind of gave us the opportunity to see things we wanted to about these makeup products from actual real people and not celebrities. But the beauty community isn't dead. I mean, there are still creators out there that are making very good money from doing what they do. There's always going to be makeup lovers that watch beauty content and stuff. It's just not the overly hyped up thing that it was back in the day, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's dead. It's just interesting that that's Jeffree's perspective on the whole thing. If that really is his perspective, like I said, he could have just been pushing a narrative for the podcast. I mean, as a public figure, sometimes you just kind of go with certain narratives and perspectives and stuff to push, because you don't really want the true tea out there. And honestly, some people call that shady. I just call it it is what it is. I don't really think too much into it anymore, to be honest with you. Speaking of Jeffree Star Cosmetics, I'm going to be using this palette, which the name I can't say on the internet or else I will get demonetized, but I have this palette right here. I love this palette for neutral looks and stuff. I use it all of the time. Another thing that was kind of interesting is that, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they do the whole boxing and the whole matches and the boxing and the wrestling and stuff like that. And I thought it was very interesting. They asked Jeffree if, he would want to wrestle or battle anybody in the ring, and then he said he would. And the way that it kind of was said was he said it they were talking about James and Tati. Specifically, I think James, because why would he wrestle a woman, Tati? But they were talking about James, and then they kind of jumped to the conversation of the wrestling thing, and he said he would. So I'm would he wrestle James? I think that would be literally the funniest thing on the planet, to watch James Charles and Jeffree Star go at it in the boxing ring. I don't know about you guys. I think that would be so funny because James Charles is like super, like so much shorter than Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is tall. I've met him. He's super tall. And he's like 6 something, and James Charles is not that tall. And James Charles is, I mean, I know that Jeffree's like slim and skinny and slender and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Just watching these two men in makeup, in their heels, in their wigs and everything, just like go at it and like in the boxing ring, I literally would live. I think that would be so funny. And Jeffree said he was up for it. So who knows, we might in the future see a boxing match between James Charles and Jeffree Star. And I think if they really want to make some money, they should make that happen, because that right there is just good. It's just a good way to make money. Do you know how many people would pay to watch that pay-per-view? So many people would be dying to see that pay-per-view. They'd be like, oh my God, the two biggest enemies in the beauty community going at it. They'd have to be in full glam though. They'd have to be in full glam to do it. In their little custom boxing outfits. Can you guys imagine? Oh my God, literally, they need to make that happen. Logan Paul, you're not gonna see this. If you ever see this video, which I doubt, but if you do, if you see this video, you need offer all the money in the world, because literally you're gonna make it back tenfold. People would be dying to see that. How much would you have to pay to get Jeffree Star and James Charles in the boxing ring together? Because here's the thing, you'd probably have to pay them enough to compensate for any surgeries that they have to get after being messed up in the ring. Because if you ruin the moneymaker, you got to pay them enough to get the moneymaker back to what it was. Or have a clause in the contract somewhere that you're going to pay for any reconstructive surgeries they might need to have. But that would be like the biggest catfight on the planet if Jeffree Star and James Charles got the boxing ring together. Don't you guys think? Oh my God. Literally, I would die. It was so hilarious. I would pay for that pay-per-view. And I'm not the type of person that pays for that kind of stuff. I'm just like, okay, y'all have fun, whatever. I'll catch the, I'll just hear what happened later, or catch the illegal viewings or something like that. I'm not going to pay for it, but I would pay for that, girl. I would pay for that in a heartbeat. I mean, what do you guys think? Would y'all be interested in that too? Or would that be like something that you're like, girl, that's stupid. I would never pay for that. By the way, you guys, my secret life hack right now is using this Stila. This is so old. I've literally had this eyeshadow since high school. Since 2008, I've had this little eyeshadow. It's a Stila kitten eyeshadow, and it's my secret weapon for my inner corner highlight on my eyes. It's so pretty. It's like a classic Stila eyeshadow, and like I said, this one I've had this eyeshadow since 2008. Since prom 2008 is when I got this, and it is still so good. You know what? It might have been earlier than prom, because I think I got it for homecoming. I think I got it for a homecoming dance when I got my makeup done by Stila, because for prom, I got my makeup done by MAC. So yeah, I've had this for like literally since like 2007, and it still works really well. And it's the perfect like thing for your inner corner highlight and your brow bone highlight. And also sometimes what I like to do, and I still do this, I know that some people don't like it, but I just do a little bit on the nose, and I do a little bit right here. I do it. I know some people don't like it, but I do it all the time. There you go. It just makes my nose look like a little cute, little tiny little guy. And then I just take a little bit like this. So yeah, I use this as more of a highlighter than a shadow shade. But yeah, I'm telling you, I've had this eyeshadow since 2007. And it still works just fine. Shout out Stila for making the products that last. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna throw some mascara on and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I just popped on a little bit of Better Than Sex mascara. I always prime my lashes with this KVD Vegan Beauty Epic Curl Lash Primer. I love this stuff so much. I got it in a BoxyCharm a while ago. And then I used my Dominique Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Crush, I think. And then I used my Kiss Me Now Cosmetics lip gloss on top. And this is my little like natural girl makeup look. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about all of this drama with Jeffree Star going on the Impulsive podcast, talking about the drama with James, Tati, and Shane. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. It's really like a lot, girl. So let me know what you think about that. Do you think that people coming for Shane and Jeffree was the reason the beauty community was canceled? Or do you think that it was really just like kind of a cumulative thing with COVID and with like just the heaviness of what was going on? Do you think it was James Charles that ruined the beauty community? Do you think it was Tati? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all that drama. I'd love to hear from you. And that's going to be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember, all Shelby bells ring the bell. And yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple more down here for you to choose from. So I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.